Hello, hi, welcome back. My name is Calcinez, and I'll be your instructor today. And this is for another lecture for videos for Tinker CAD. So right now, previous videos we learned a lot of the basics, and then right now we're still learning a little more of how to use the other tools, how to use the features, and that will go from there to actually create your own parts. But as of right now, hopefully you do enjoy some of the other tools as well that you learn a little more, while the other ones it might be. We'll get to the more of the instructions later on in the future. But right now, today, let's continue on with the other ones. Let's go add in more components and add in more interesting things. So today, let's go make a dice right now. So I'm gonna bring this guy out here. Just make a little dice right here. Now that, let's go incorporate the numbers now. So right now we're into the text area. We're gonna add in the text, and or basically what we can do is there's another shortcut. This right here on this scroll on the basic shapes. Now we can actually use that one. Let's click onto that one, and let's go include. Let's see here. I hope they include numbers. Hmm. Okay, well they don't actually include numbers. Okay, that's right. But it's okay. Let's go add in our text then. That'll be the easiest one of all. And then let's go look for the multi-language. Let's go choose. Let's see here. Let's go sans mono, or I think we can choose sans. There we go. And after that, let's go choose. I think we'll fix the height later on. Bevel is okay. We're okay on those ones. So our text today, we're gonna add in our numbers. So it's gonna be about one. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if it can actually incorporate these guys without grouping them. So I'm gonna try one of the numbers that's easier. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna make a dice. There we go. Nope, you cannot explode them, so it's okay. It's alright. We can actually undo everything else, or go over here to undo. There we go. Go back to text. And I think we have to do this one at a time, so that's one of the downside for this one. Or instead of like dragging it back and forth, like I did before, what we can do is copy the same one that has the same text and the same tools and everything else. All you do is go over here, click it once onto that little number, till it highlights everything else. And over here on the top, we now have duplicates and repeat. So this is the one you can actually use. You can go on top of it, and you can actually go back and forth to click it. Or you can actually do the one. There's a little lettering down below. It says down in green color, or the green color font. It says Control D. You got to do that. So let's go click on this one first to see how it looks like. So you now notice that everything else is there's no big change, no um, any of another copy or anything like that. But if you actually select this guy right here, bring it outward, now you have two duplicates right away. So now the copy component or the part is gonna be on top of this guy. All you do is just click onto it and just drag over here. That's it. If you accidentally like double click it by accident, see for example, if I was to do like this, copy, and if I do like that, and you know, or maybe that works. Okay, that works. Because usually if you double click it and then you actually move the whole thing, then yeah, you kind of like um, cancel the command right away. But again, luckily the good news is you can actually like click out here if you accidentally click it on the outside and just drag it over here, you're good to go. So we're going to do the same thing again. Now we're going to use my keyboard on here. It's going to be control. Your control is going to be on your bottom left corner, which says the CTRL, and then D is the letter D on your keyboard. So you go hold down control and D right away. Now that it'll duplicate it. See? Duplicate. Do the same thing again with my keyboard. Duplicate. Oops. For some reason doesn't do that. Well, actually, let's go double check. Nope. Okay. Control D, same thing. Whoops. Control D. Really? What's going on here? Why is it not doing that? Let's see here. Okay. Control D. Okay. Drag it out here. There we go. Control D. Click it. There we go. So now we have 3, 6. So now we can actually double click onto these items and then it can actually change the numbers. So it'll be 2. And we'll make that 3. Make that one 4. Keep going to 6. to 6. Okay, there we go. Now we notice that all of these are not the same height. I'm going to go to it in flat dimension, top view. There we go. There we go. Now we notice that these ones are not perfectly in the right size for this dice. So I'm going to go do is select all of it. And what I'm going to do is actually bring this guy up to an eyeball. So it'll be up to around, I would say maybe, let's go do the 35 by 35. So let's go type in 35 and 35. So like I did before, I actually select everything else that we did use. So you on your mouse, all you do is hold down your left button, hold it down. Don't click anything else. If you click it, there's no command. All you do is just hold it down on your left click button, hold it down, and just drag it along until you see the red lines. Now all you do is drag over onto these numbers, and that's it. Then you click on this corner over here to activate the size. I'm going to choose about 35 by 35. There we go. And then after that, I'm going to move to the front direction. And this one, I'm going to try select these guys again. Select all of it. And I'm going to change the height of the guys. So our height, let's see, I'm going to go activate this guy. There we go. Activate the height. And I'm going to go up to about 3. There we go. That's good enough. Okay, there we go. Then we go in top view. And now we can actually incorporate these guys on the design. So for this one right now, I'm going to do is copy this one. So I'm going to go Control D again. Bring it out here because there's 2 ways you can actually try this out. So, including the numbers too as well. So since they're in the perfect height and the dimension, go on top view. Come on. There we go. Okay, we're going to select all the numbers, Control Copy, whoops, and Control D. Sorry, force a habit on the Control C is like copy. Okay, there we go. Now we got that. Now I'm going to do is select on the number 1. I'm going to go to the front view and I'm going to bring this guy in height. So I'm going to bring this guy in height about maybe around there. Drag this over here, around that area. Good. So I'm going to do 1. Maybe I can bring the guy around here. I want to flip this guy around because we want the number 2 to actually face the other way around. So I'm going to make it about, let's see, click onto it, it's going to be 180. So it'll be perfectly flat. There we go. We got 1, 2. I'm going to do, let's see, now we have is 3, 4, 5, 6. So these guys is going to be, they're going to a different direction. So I'm going to go this way right here, this angle. Click on that one, and it's going to be about 90 degrees upward. There we go. So that way all your numbers are like staying upward against this one. Okay, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is begin setting in the numbers onto it. So I'm going to click over here. I'm going to bring the 1 inside here. So there we go. I'm going to use this arrow to actually bring this guy a little more up. About 14 right there. And the same thing with number 2. Bring this guy down here. There we go. Alrighty. Now we notice that the 2 is already on the dice, but the number 1 is not. What I can do is actually grab this one and drag over here. Just eyeball it on your vision, whatever position you want to do. Same thing with number 2 as well. I'm going to go to the bottom. I'm going to bring this guy to a different position. Whoops. What happened? Control undo, just in case, because I did something wrong. Okay, there we go. Now it's like perfectly in the center, as close as possible. Okay, there we go. Whoops, why is there number 1 over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where's that number 1 came from? Okay, I'm going to delete this guy. There we go. Or I can just trash it. There we go. Okay. Now back onto this design now. So I'm going to select on the number 3, drag it over here. I'm going to drag it onto the dice, and I'm going to go in the top view. And this does take a while for it to actually make your own dice and components. Whoops, undo. But it's okay because it's worth it because that way you make your own components. Okay, then I'm going to bring this guy a little more. There we go. I'll go to the front view. I'm going to bring this guy down just a little bit. There we go. 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put the 4 over here on this side. So I'm going to bring this guy above eye view. Drag this guy over here. There we go. I'm gonna drag it to the eye view from here, maybe around, yeah, maybe around here should be good to go. So we're good. We're gonna scroll around with it. There we go. Top view, and we're gonna move this guy in a different direction. So we're gonna go up to about 90 degrees. Whoops. 90, and it should be, let's see here, maybe the opposite direction. I'm gonna do about 180 then. Whoops. 180. I did not mean to do that. We'll go back to solid. There we go. We're gonna go to our left. There we go. That time we're gonna drag this guy over here. Actually, we can't really see it, so I'm gonna drag this guy in the front. There we go. Front, or go to the left view. There we go. Bring this guy right around that area. Should be good to go. There we go. Okay, there we go. 2 more to go, and we're almost there. Let me do 6 in the front, so I'm gonna try that. I'm going to go bring this guy up here in the eye view. Bring this guy over here. There we go. Bring it back a little more. There we go. We kind of like have to flip it around. As we can see, it's like backwards. So I'm going to go back to about 180. There we go. 6. Then we go to the top view. Eyeball it a little more because we need to move this guy backwards. There we go. Voila. And we just eyeball it. Okay, the last one's going to be number 5. Whoops. Undo. Okay, then. Go to back view. Bring this guy upward just a little more in the height. Perfectly good. Then we're going to change our direction to about maybe 90 degrees. Whoops. Okay, 180. Okay, 180. I did not mean to do a shadow there. There we go. Whoops. Solid. Do a 90 again. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now we just gotta go eyeball it. Zoom, put into the inside of it. There we go. There we go. Now that what we're gonna do next one, we know what to do. Now we know what to do next. Highlight everything else on this shape until you get this one activated. We gotta group it, and it'll make a dice. Look at that from the outside. Voila. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-sided dice. There we go. But now let's go let's learn a little more tools again. This one we're gonna try is the same process, but this time we're gonna make this guy a little more hollow. But I will show you guys in shortcut how to do that one right now. So what I'm gonna do is select this guy right here. I'm gonna make it, whoops, like this guy, make it holes. Now that let's go learn 2 things right away. So first one is that I want to make the number 1 above. So I'm gonna bring this guy up here. There we go. And that's what I'm gonna do for now. So last time we learned about how do we, maybe let's go make it like solid because that way we'll see everything else. Oh, that's the reason why. Oh, let's see. Delete that. Delete that. Okay, no wonder why there's multiple items. Okay. So now last time we learned about is that how do we actually make these guys centered in these items. What you can do is that you can actually use these other features, which is the line. All you do is just remember to actually use the shift. We're gonna hold down click on the dice, hold down our shift. It's gonna be 1 and 2. There we go. So now we have 3 items selected. I'm gonna do is select the align so that way everything else will be good to go. And that once you position this guy, look at that. 1, 2, and the dice will be actually aligned together. There we go. And actually, I was like, before I proceed there, I'm gonna do is fix the number 1 because we need to make this one hollow. So I'm gonna bring this guy right here. Let's go click out here. Bring this guy, maybe this one too as well. I'm gonna try align it. There we go. No, the one's gonna be going down below. See, yeah. Okay. Undo. There we go. Maybe I can just eyeball it right there to actually bring it down. There we go. Or what we can do is on this one right here. Whoops. Redo. Right here, we know so we can actually drag it. But on your keyboard or on your mouse or on your keyboard or your laptop, there's those arrows that has the up, down, left, and right. You know, so you'll see at the bottom right in that section. You can actually bring it down. You can actually click onto it. You can actually bring it down, bring up, go left and right. Right now, it's not actually commanding me to actually go down. It's just going saying forward and backwards. I'm gonna select this guy right here, and that way it'll bring it down. Kind of. I'm not sure what's going on from there. That's interesting. So I'll just manually just drag it onto there, so that way it'll be okay. Then I'm gonna hold down my shift, click on the dice and the number. Then I'm gonna change. Actually, I'm gonna change the numbers first into shapes. Let's see, hold down there, shift. There we go. Make till holes. And that's what I'm gonna do is select these ones right here. The number, the dice, and the other number again. I'm gonna make it aligned. There we go. I'm gonna go on top view. Oh, excuse me. Now we're gonna bring it to the center, and bring it again to the center one more time. Let's see, right here. So that way everything else is perfectly in the centered. See? You see how easy it is? So it's like this one will be okay. You can actually do it manually. There's a big difference why you actually have those two features, because number one, if you want to do it manually, you have you're able to actually control your parts on your own. So it's your design. You can do whatever you want with it, and that way you can actually make it your own design. But if you want like perfectly symmetric or even out, you can actually use these options, which is the align, to actually make it perfectly centered, or you can actually use the arrows to actually make it accurately in the areas as like or like an accurate as possible. So hopefully that makes sense. So sorry about that. Okay, next one we're gonna do is, let's see here. I'm gonna select these the dice and the numbers. I'm gonna move this guy out of the way. There we go. Then I'm gonna go to top view, select the numbers right here. I'm gonna do the same thing again, make it two holes, bring it to the other view, like a front right corner. And I'm gonna do is actually adjust the degrees. So I'm gonna change it up to 90 degrees. So everything else will be perfectly up. Okay, there we go. And then I'm gonna choose two numbers. So I'm gonna choose this. Whoops, sorry. I'm gonna choose two numbers, like I said. Let me see. I'm gonna move this guy backwards. I'm gonna use my arrow keys so that you can actually move away. I'm gonna select these two right here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it upward just a little more, just in case. There we go. There we go. And after that, let's go drag our numbers. I'm gonna go backwards. You guys see how it's being maneuvered. You can actually see down here on the grid, you can actually see the shadow. You can actually align that as much as you can onto it. So that's good news. Do the same thing with this one right here, number 5. If it's a bit too of a mess that you can't really select it, you can actually use the shadow as your guide, and then use your arrow keys to actually maneuver around every once in a while. Okay, there we go. Now what we're gonna do is let's see. Before I do that, I'm gonna go to top view first. I'm gonna select this guy, move this guy out of the way, because I noticed that once you select all of these guys will not actually be aligned, or maybe I think you can. Let's go risk it. Don't worry, we can actually undo it. So we have the computer. Okay, let's go try align it in the center. There we go. Perfect. That's all we need to do. Now then, I'm gonna try this one right here, this direction. No. Before I do that, I'm gonna use this manually. So I'm gonna go bring this guy downwards just a little bit, because it won't work at the other align. Maybe I can. Let's see. I'll go the other direction. Let's see. I'm gonna go this way here. Bring this guy the opposite direction. I'm gonna maneuver it this time, and I'm gonna bring this guy. I'm gonna select this guy. I'm gonna group it so that way everything else will be perfectly aligned. So you have the 1 and 2 indent right away. Whoops, I think the number 2 is like backwards. I'm gonna go undo it first before I do that. I'm gonna go, no, not that way. Let's see here. There we go. Right here. I'm gonna bring it up to 180. Okay, let's go see. There we go. Now we have 1, 2. Perfectly perfect. Select all of it. Group them. Everything else is now aligned. Why is it still? I think it's still rendering, so that'll be fine. Okay. So I'm going to select all of these guys right here. Use the align. And I'm going to make this guy perfectly symmetric. There we go. Perfect. Whoops, for some reason it's not actually selected, so I'm going to see what's going on. Oh, for some reason something happened here. Why is it red? There we go. Go on top view. Select him, group it, and then something happened here. Why is it red? Maybe because this guy doesn't want to be accepted. So what I'm gonna do is actually try this out. So I'm gonna try highlight everything else, align it, make it perfectly centered. There we go. We're good to go. We're good. All right, right there. So I'm gonna select these two right here. Shift, hold it down, hold onto these two, and I'm gonna bring in these guys downward just on the eyeball. There we go. So that way everything else is perfectly aligned. Okay, there we go. Now that I think the error went away. So I'm gonna go to align again. I'm gonna go perfectly symmetric. Everything else will be perfectly aligned. There we go. I'm gonna go this way right here too as well. Align this guy as well, so everything else will be perfect. And that's it. There we go. Now we have the 5 and 3 ready to go. I'm gonna select the 5. I'm gonna go backwards. I'm gonna use my arrow keys. Go backwards just a little more. All the way up till it flushes against the part. Same thing with the number 3. Go back with the arrow keys and then go back to this guy right here. There we go. So now we have a 3 and the 5. Double check. Oops, I think the 5 is like invisible, so I'm gonna go bring this guy out. So if you notice that your number 5 is like really not aligned on the shape, it's just like a little bump, but you want to make it flush. What you can do is on your work plane area at the bottom right corner, you notice that you have these two options right here. So you have one that says edit grid and the snap grid. Edit grid is the one you can actually measure out your work area. So if I was going to say like I want to do you got to change your units. You got to show your grids, yeah, shadows, yeah, because you need these two, so that way you actually help you out as a guide. We're going to change from millimeters to inches. There we go. And then it's going to be present. So now we have our width and length as 7 inches to 7 inches. So you got to work around that area like about, let's go do 7 inches by 7 inches. You notice that in reality, you have a ruler. You'll do about 7 inches of work by 7 inches of work, so you know how big it is. But this is good because for this guy, you can actually modify it on your printer. So if it was on my printer right now, with my personal ones, it's going to be about 8 inches by 8 inches. So we need to go look into it. Update grid. And you notice that the measurement already changed right away to be a bigger size. So I have enough space to know that I can actually print it right away. Or like if I have the other one, which I have my other printer, it'll be about 4 inches by 4 inches. Update the grid. And you can actually see how small it is. You got to work it around that area. So you have like enough room to actually print enough for your components. So if you have your own printers and you get your ruler onto it, make sure it's on the black. Let's see, if you have a Makerbot at home or any other printer, make sure you comment down below what type of printers do you have, and I'll respond back to you. Or you can actually look online and look for the Makerbot printers print bed dimension. It'll give out about either a 4 inch by 4 inch by 4 inch. That's the volume. Or if you have other printers that you have, it depends on your inches by inches by inches, length, width, and height. You have to look for that online, or you can actually go down the comment down below, and I'll respond back to your answer. So just give you a heads up on that one. So now we need to do. Okay, update grid. So it's gonna be about 4 inches by 4 inches if you have a printer like this. The snap grid is the one you actually it'll like snap in right away. So you notice that we have an issue on number 5 that when you use the arrows, we notice that there's a little snap grid that's kind of like little bit like it's like cutting into like section by section. You can actually edit your grid up to the smallest one. So if I was going to choose about 1/32 of an inch, so on your ruler that has the inches, these little dash lines indicate the fractions of it. So it works the same ways as this one right here. So you have about up to about a 1/2 inch, a 1/4 inch. So you have a 1/2 inch right away on your ruler. So that it'll snap about 1/2 inch every once in a while once you move it around. It'll do about a 1/4 inch. Do the same thing again. It'll snap every 1/4 inch every movement. 1/8, we were right there too as well. We noticed that's a little bit too big, but we have to down it down. 1/16, it might work. but again, you might want to bring that down again. And then 1/32 of an inch. So the 1/32 of an inch is in between those two lines of a 1/16. That's very small. Or you can actually do one more, it'll be the 64. That'll be a little bit smaller, half of that of the 1/32. So it's very, very small for those fractions. So I'm going to try 1/32 to see how that goes. I'm going to click out here once I select it to blue. Select the number 5, and let's go backwards. You notice that the change to as well? It kind of like went to like a small area. There we go. Now we can see the 5. If I was going to do ½ inch, for example, it'll be like this. If I was going to move backwards, see, every ½ inch is going to be moved backwards. So, but right now we got that one ready to go, about 1/32. So we're good. So we'll move this guy backwards a little more. There we go, against the wall. There we go, perfect. Same thing with the number 3. Number 3, let's go twist this around. Let's go do about 180. There we go. I'm going to move this guy backwards. It's the same thing. Against the wall. Ooh, that's a little bit shy off of it, isn't it? Guys, look at that. It's kind of like a bit... If I was going to click this right here... Yeah, see, it's like against the wall somewhere. We don't need that. Let's see. Let's go snap about one smaller fraction. Ooh, so close. Well, it should be fine because if it's like a fraction off of it, but I kind of like don't want to do that. That kind of like ruins the point of it. Oh, is it raining? Oh, I better hurry up then. There we go. But we kind of like not perfectly even out with the other one, so all I can do is highlight the entire thing, align it, and then align the perfect center right here. There we go, perfect. Once you got everything else ready to go, highlight everything else and then group it. It's gonna take a while for it to render through. Yeah, it was taking a while. There we go. Now we have 1, 3, and 5, or in 2. Okay. Okay, now the next one, last one's gonna be the numbers again. Select these ones. Let's go bring it upwards just a little more. Okay, there we go. Now I'm gonna go to the top view. I'm gonna go bring this guy. Well, actually, let's go wait for these two right here first. Let's go twist this guy around. I'm gonna bring this guy about maybe 90 degrees. There we go. So that way these guys will be perfectly flush against these right here. I can drag either one of them over here, either way. Okay, there we go. Check the numbers to see if they're aligned. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is align these guys again. Align it. Bring this guy back to the center. There we go. Align this way again. Center. There we go. So now I have a 6 and 4 is not correct. So I'm going to click this guy and then twist it around. It's going to be 180. There we go. There we go. So now we can actually move this guy backwards just a little more. Whoops. Not perfectly even. So that means let's go zoom in. So I'm going to bring this guy backwards. Whoops. 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 Okay, maybe it's not that perfectly even. It's okay. It's alright. Let's try the number 6. Go backwards. There we go. Perfect. So now I'm going to reline these again. Highlight everything else. Align it. Make it perfectly centered. There we go. Make sure the height is the same thing too as well. There we go. Highlight everything else. Group it. And now we got a indent. So now we have two ways to actually make it. We have the ones that's like outside the fonts and the other one inside the fonts. So that's how it looks like. Congratulations. So now you have another way you can actually do it along the way. So now next video we can actually try is a new designs and new shapes. So basically that's all the lesson we have, all these tools. Some of the other ones we don't need that much. Basically for the rulers, this one right here, click onto it. It's gonna give us like another different grid. So I would say like another plane right here. Whoops. What happened right here? Nope, doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't say. So same thing, grid. Measure out wherever you want with it. You have a grid system. Same thing, but again, not that much. Or you can actually comment on the section right here saying like, okay, you want to add in like an edit note, remind yourself. That way you can actually remember like what do you need to do next right away. So, and then toggle note visibility. I don't think we need that one anymore, but it's okay. Or actually, this is like relate to this guy. If you guys have a notes, but it's kind of in the way, you can actually toggle this one. That you can actually remove the notes. And I think you have the paste, copy and paste it. Either way, like for example, I was gonna do this guy here, duplicate it. And what I'm gonna do is paste it. There we go. So I'm gonna undo that one again, and finally copy either way or duplicate. So either way, both of these two works the same thing. Copy and paste it or duplicate it works the same as well. So okay, but that's it. That's all. Everything else is the way to go. If you guys want to do like the other ones, you can do that too as well. Let's click on these two. You can actually make your own block world too as well. Actually make your own like world of your own area, um, that sort of thing. But again, you don't have the options up here, which I'll show you the reason why. Then we have the bricks area. You can actually make your own Lego set too as well. You can actually make your own playgrounds. You can actually make your own layers set to go, and that's it. Mess around with it. There you go. But today, right now, we just focus on is the AutoCAD, or basically the shapes of it. That's it. That's all I'm going to do for today. But again, if you guys have any questions, or if you want me to like do like a little more challenging, like how you do the other components or any other parts, let me know so that way I can actually do that one and show you guys some ways to actually make that happen, like shortcuts and some lessons, and that's it. Next one will be the next video will be how do you make these guys 3D printed, but um, actually yeah, make these guys 3D printed and how you actually accomplish that. Okay, that's all I have today right now. Hope you guys have fun with this one. Mess around with more of these shapes and then make your own components. Okay. Alright then. Have a good day. Bye.